Thank you, friends. Both Ravi and Professor Romila Thapar have articulated so many of the things that we all feel that I thought I would start by first saying that the feelings that are expressed, and largely by colleagues from the social sciences, all of them, are shared to a very large extent in other schools as well. And this is a divide which does not actually exist in the university. It's something that's made an artificial divide between the sciences and the non-sciences. And which is one of the reasons why I decided to come here and share my JNU. So in the spirit of humans of JNU, this is my story over here. Many of the colleagues in social sciences, and particularly the students and the younger people, don't know how the sciences or how JNU was formed in the late 60s. We heard some of it. But in the days when the science departments were being set up, our first Vice Chancellor, G. Parthasarathi, he sought the advice of many wise men. And one of those ideas that he had was to create departments which actually had both the natural sciences as well as the humanities and social sciences. And what we have over here, the experiment has been of a certain kind. The School of Environmental Sciences was originally started as the School of Environmental and Theoretical Sciences. It was supposed to have theoretical physical scientists working with people who were concerned about the environment and so on. Some of these ideas worked, some of them didn't. One that has been spectacular for the country is the School of Life Sciences, because it went away in the 1970s, away from botany, zoology, and other traditional ways in which biology was taught. And it went into an overall School of Life Sciences, and there have been many, many contributions that have come from there. I don't have anything as dramatic as what Ravi said about poverty alleviation, but the first attempts to introduce vitamin-producing genes in potatoes so that you could have new breeds of potatoes, new breeds of plants that could actually change the face of agriculture, and then through that nutrition the work was all started over here in the School of Life Sciences. And that too by a former Vice Chancellor of ours, so there is a tradition that former Vice Chancellors do some fairly groundbreaking work, or just breaking work. The School of Life Sciences, the School of Computer and System Sciences, these were all started as ideas. They were experiments of a kind. And I came to JNU with another experiment, which was the School of Physical Sciences. School of Physical Sciences started in 1986 with three of us who moved from various parts of the world and other parts of India to JNU. For a very long time, we shared premises with CSRD and were subject to Bhalla Saab's jokes of "Ye kya physical education shuru kar diya yahan pe?" It didn't help us that our neighbors were the School of Arts and Aesthetics, which was always pronounced as Arts and Athletics. So this was the mahal in which SPS was started. But our Vice Chancellor, Professor P.N. Srivastava, who founded or who was instrumental in setting up the school at that time, was very clear about a few things. The first was that we should have a school which did not break up into centers of physics, chemistry, mathematics, geology, etc. This was to have been a center, a school, which had all the scientific disciplines together. We took that somewhat seriously. I have a PhD in chemistry. My colleagues had a PhD. One had a PhD in maths and one in condensed matter physics. So we came together and we started this school in 1986. And one of the things that we were very clear about, and this is part of the JNU ethos, and I want, I would like it to be recognized widely that this is not some, interdisciplinarity was something that was actually built into schools like physical sciences from the word go. In the first year, we admitted 4 students. 2 were from a physics background, 1 was from a chemistry background. Right? And the 4th one was a very young girl from Bulandshahr, and I think she had just some kind of a very general background, which was not, we did not deny anybody admission because they did not have physics or this or that or the other. People who had a master's or an undergraduate specialization in chemistry have gone on to become professors of physics. Those who have studied engineering have gone on to become professors of physics, and I'm not talking about small places. They are professors of physics in the United States, they are in the IITs, 2 of them at least, where we have alumni. And these are people who have crossed their disciplines, and they could not have got admission to any other university. They would not have been able to follow this kind of trajectory that we offered them. And I'm not saying that we offered them because we were very sentient in SPS. We saw the opportunity that JNU could provide people. We saw the ability that JNU has to erase a certain part of your history and to make a new future for yourself. And that is what we've concentrated on at SPS. In the last 30 or so years, and like Ravi, I shall not be lecturing in JNU long. I retire sometime this year, so so this is the last opportunity to share some of these ideas and feelings that we also adopted in the sciences, or let's say specifically in the physical sciences, that we should be an enabling department. I can also share with you many stories of how we have had we've had students who are first generation, not just first generation learners, which is not far too common, but PhDs who are first generation literates, who have gone on to become professors at other central universities. A few years ago, I had the opportunity of being at the University of Hyderabad and seeing for myself what the real effect of JNU is. Part of the effect of JNU is over here. It's the transformative process that everybody has talked about. But I think that those who evaluate us should also understand how we have transformed not just the academic landscape of ourselves and the people who come here, but how we have slowly but surely transformed the academic landscape of the country. No matter where I go, we find alumni of JNU, and they are the ones who are sitting in somewhat crucial positions, who carry the values, whether it's the values of Ganga Dhaba or whether it's the values of whatever, the values of dissent, the values of protest, the values of discussion. If you go to Hyderabad, you go to Chennai, you go wherever in this country, Nehu, you will find JNU alumni, and I myself have got, I don't know, 20 or 30 students who have graduated from my own group, who are now placed in various central and IITs and other such places. The JNU culture is the culture and the idea of JNU is a great export that we have. And in a IIT not too far from here, a few days ago I was actually chatting with the director, the exporter of anyway, so the director I was discussing something about JNU with him, and as what is seizing all of us all the time these days. And he said, and I quote, "The JNU culture is something that we would like to bring into the IITs."
Only one way of doing it.
Ravi, there are many ways of doing it. No.
Good start.
No. No. The point is that in a world that is opening up, in a world that sees the values of mixing different schools of thought, I think that many, many people would be receptive to this kind of mixture that there is in JNU. One can go on and in terms of research contributions and so on and so forth, I don't, I mean, there are the usual lists. But I want to talk about two things, one to do with the research contributions of our university, of the sciences, because that, in the grand way of scientists, we can quantify everything. Just for purposes of telling you what it is, the Department of Science and Technology has a grant. It's a this era acronym. It's called the PERS. The PERS grant is, I don't know what the acronym actually stands for, but something. R is research and science or something. Uplifting or whatever, you know. So 3 universities were chosen for the PERS grant in the first tranche of grants. The grant was given for the university which has the maximum number of highly cited publications. All right, so the institution's publications are listed in terms of their citations, and the institutions with the largest number were taken. The largest number, you had to exceed something like 50. There were 3 universities in all of India. University of Hyderabad, Jadavpur, JNU. And in the first tranche again, we got some 30 crores or something like that. And then that has become a standard and we've gone on. But our research recognition, whether it is in terms of quality or in terms of the impact or in terms of how it is received and or cited, this doesn't need any kind of validation. The figures actually speak for themselves. In fact, the university coffers, the bank account should speak for it, because we get the money into so we don't have to, you know, that's your evidence. You got the money, you're a university of excellence, you got it because you are a university of excellence. On the matter of admissions, this year our master's students wanted an optional course for which we actually had no teachers. It so happened that all our teachers were occupied with other courses, but they wanted a course in the general theory of relativity and cosmology. We have faculty who can teach, but they were otherwise occupied with courses, so we wrote for permission asking whether we can have colleagues from other universities close by come and teach our students, because our students wanted this particular course. We got a letter, but no permission. And so, in the School of Physical Sciences, one course where attendance is not taken, but over 90% attendance happens every Saturday. We have a 2-hour class given voluntarily by teachers from all over Delhi, Delhi University, Jamia, other places. They come, they lecture to our students attend. Nobody has to take attendance because they want to take attendance. I think all of us have stories like this, but what I'd really like to close with is that there is a spirit of JNU which is there across the university. I don't believe that any artificial divisions should be made saying that certain rules and regulations are more applicable in one or the other school or center or what have you. There is an idea of JNU which is extremely important. And that idea goes beyond the ability to dissent and which is important, of course. But the idea of JNU as an enabler, the differential that we bring to our students from what they are when they come in whichever course they come in, and what they are when they go out, both in terms of their scholarship and their personalities and eventually what they will accomplish in their lives. I think that is tremendous, and that is an idea of JNU that we should preserve and ensure that it doesn't die. Thank you.